knowledge here at Tennessee Hills Distillery. And today I am joined by the master distiller and the owner-operator here is Stephen Callahan and Jason Franklin. Guys, appreciate y'all.
Hey, thanks for coming, Chris.
Jason's great. Pleasure to meet you.
Appreciate it.
Absolutely. I'm going to start with Stephen over here.
Yeah.
Stephen, y'all got a very special project going on.
Absolutely. Now, Chris, this is one I'm very excited about. It took a little while to get in the works. We actually created a collaboration between us and Jeter Mountain Farms over in Hendersonville, North Carolina. They've got about 6,000 apple trees, and coming towards the end of the year, the product that they wasn't necessarily turning into cider,
right?
We got off them to do a really cool apple brandy project.
Oh, wow.
And so that's what's going on behind us right here.
There's apple brandy actually.
Apple brandy coming right out, and it's something I really want to do for since we started the company, and just didn't have anybody that could supply us the 6,000 gallons worth of juice that we needed. And so we finally got it over this week, and we're full bore. Running apple brandy this week, and we're going to put it in a barrel, and then here in about another 2 years, we'll be sipping some fine apple brandy.
You love doing special projects like this?
I absolutely do. And you know, now that we've kind of grown as a company, we've got a little bit more of the infrastructure that we really need to start doing some of these more experimental projects. And really, it's really us diving into the craft distilling world, which is where I've wanted to go for a really long time. And now that I've got Jason Franklin, Jason is a great distiller. He's on staff full time. He's going to be running the Bristol facility. And so now that he and I are together, it's like Tango and Nash. We're making whiskey, and we couldn't be more excited about it.
All right, I'm going to step over
I'm going to step out. Yeah,
Jason, let's step in here and talk about this. Tell us about this process.
So what we're doing here today, we've actually got this large 500-gallon tank here. And we were actually taking our apple cider, sticking it in there, and preheating our apple cider to speed up this process. So we're taking our hot water off of our condenser of this process here, feeding it through this tank here that's got a jacket on it, and it's actually heating that up. So it's up to about 120 degrees by the time we're actually ready to dump this batch and pump that back over.
Right.
So we're turning it around in about 20 minutes instead of it taking an hour, hour and a half.
Right.
So it's dramatically speeding up our batch times. You know, we're running 4 or 5 batches a day right now.
Oh, wow.
You know, normally 2 batches on most places would be all you'd be able to do. So we're trying to blast through this stuff. And what we're doing here, this is called our low wines. This is our first strip out of the tank here. So we'll actually save all this up. That's what's sitting in all these other tanks here. And once we get enough of that, get all this stripped out, we'll take these tanks, put it back in, and we'll actually do what's called a spirit run. And that's when we'll make our cuts and kind of do the scientific stuff to it. So,
what kind of barrels is this going to go into in the finished product?
We've got several different ones we're going to play with. This is our first project like this here. So we've got a couple different ones we're going to basically try out and let everybody kind of be our guinea pigs for, to see what we do in the future.
So we're talking about, apple brandy here. What distinguishes a brandy from a whiskey or a moonshine or other types of spirits?
So a brandy is all fruit juice.
Okay.
So, a moonshine is generally going to be an unaged, something that's got cane sugar added to it. Whiskey is going to be all grain, no sugar whatsoever. All the sugars naturally comes out of the grain itself.
Right. So you got some differentiation there, and that aging in those barrels is going to add a whole nother layer of flavor to this end product.
Absolutely. That's, most distillers will say, up to 70–80% of your flavor will come from that barrel. So like I say, we've got a lot of different barrels that we're going to play with. We've got some new barrels, some used barrels, some wine barrels. So we've got some playing around to do and a lot of tasting.
But when all of that aging is done, you're going to have a very fine product to get out to the public.
Well, we hope so.
As a master distiller, I think you got it covered.
Yeah, we're going to try.
All right, Jason Franklin, we
I appreciate it. Appreciate you guys.
Folks, there is a shot of knowledge. We're talking apple brandy right here in downtown Jonesboro. Soon, not as soon as some of you might like, but soon you'll be able to taste the fruits of their labor here at Tennessee Hills Distillery. The preceding segment sponsored by Tennessee Hills Distillery.